You guys are beasts. I mean, you're still jumping and surfing, all that stuff that I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have the courage to do. And the stuff that you've done in your past, they just see how well put together you guys are. And on top of that, you have this company and you're making money. You're just influencing a lot of people in a positive way, even other businesses. They're like, man, I hate these guys. I sincerely mean this. I think that is why some people hate you guys. And that was an avenue for them to kind of label something. Welcome back to CF Podcast, guys. Kaya here with Cole from GBRS Group. And we don't have DJ here. What's he doing?
Running around on the floor.
Yeah, SHOT Show 2025. If you guys don't know where we're at right now, we're in Ryan's room. I'm looking at his bed right now. It's not made, by the way. It's horrible. And he's got a lot of cameras in this room. I don't know what happens when we leave here, but there's a bed and a bunch of cameras and lighting system.
There's like 5 tripods, a bunch of lighting.
Around the bed, by the way, besides
Definitely
these.
does some sort of subscription.
Yeah, he's one of the, oh, wow.
We got 6.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But one of them is on the bed. But anyways, I actually want to say this right off the gate. Dude, congratulations. You guys actually went through a lot of hardship or whatever, like bunch of nonsense, whatever it may be. And you guys just came to the end of the road. You had an arbitration of this whole famous GBRS case, and you guys won. Tell me all about it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was. It's been a long road. It's been about 12 months or so, and it was great to finally get that past us and kind of go through the whole judicial process, arbitration process of it, and both sides could present whatever evidence they had, and the arbitrator made his ruling.
Yeah.
Which was good. I mean, it was difficult. I mean, for 12 months, it was a consistent grind. It made you doubt yourself. It made, the team really come closer together because we all knew the truth, and everyone really believes in the company and what we do, no matter what any kind of outside people say or hear or anything like that. So it was definitely challenging. Grew a lot, learned a lot. But, when you're backed into a corner, we're going to come out fighting. And, part of the legal and contract process is just following those guidelines. And that's what we did.
Yeah. So I'm sure, like a lot of people obviously know this. We've done a couple of podcasts with you guys. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Cole and DJ share some stories from back in the day, their Navy days, and also this specific situation or issue. But for those who don't know that, the incident or whatever this is, let's quickly touch base on what happened and dive into some details on it. And I want to talk about, like, as you were telling me before we start recording, what do you guys learn from this, and what could new companies could actually learn from this? What could you just tell them based on your experience here? But let's touch base on what happened.
The brief summary of what happened was we had a gun that was being shipped by UPS go missing. Had been missing. The intended FFL was going to called us and said that they hadn't received it. So we said, all right, and we checked the tracking label, and it hadn't been scanned in, which means it hadn't been picked up. Because when they pick it up, it gets scanned, checked in. So we said, all right, went and checked throughout the office, checked with all employees. They said they had no idea what happened to it. So we had to go through our security camera footage. We found out the shipping manager had taken it out of the building and didn't know where it was since then. Because of the ATF guidelines, we had to notify the police of just a missing gun at that point. And just following the process and told them what we had. Discovered just with security camera footage. So the police took him down to the station and questioned him. Within, I would say, a couple hours, hour or two, give it a take, a UPS guy showed back up with the missing package, saying he had picked it up from the FedEx location around the corner. thought that was a little weird that a UPS guy was walking into FedEx and just mysteriously picks up this package that had been missing for, ultimately 21 days. And a few hours after, the police came and took the shipping manager down to the station. But it was the package, got it, called the police, wanted to let the shipping manager go or out of custody since we got the gun back, because our worst fear was that it was on the streets. That's most of gun violence, I think, inside the U.S., it's from unregistered guns and stolen guns. So, that was a huge weight on our shoulders, and we don't want that to lead to anybody illegally having it or innocently being hurt.
And you're required. You've got you have a serialized item.
Yeah.
You can't just not report it. You have to call the police. You have to do a proper police report.
Yeah, and I think that's what people don't understand and missed was we weren't calling the police on anybody. We were calling the police because that was the first step that we're required to do within an FFL and notify them of a missing, lost, stolen firearm, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, we were just following that. We weren't calling it on anybody.
I remember talking to you guys when we did our first episode or podcast with you guys, and we watched all the deposition, bunch of stuff. You guys were specifically saying, we don't want anybody being arrested. We are just reporting this thing.
Yeah.
And of course, as a former police officer myself, if I show up to a scene and there's something missing, there's some evidence, and I'm not saying how those police officers handled things, it was right or wrong. I don't know the details exactly. But if you have an item that's missing and based on your investigation, you have a certain subject or suspect, you just follow your procedure.
Yeah.
Whether that's right or wrong, that's another topic. But police officers make certain decisions themselves on scene, not necessarily the persons that call the police. And you're right. You talked about the UPS driver delivering a FedEx package back to you guys, which is interesting. And guys, we're not going to go into full exact all details because I really want to get back to this arbitration part and what's happened after that. But check out the podcast we did. I think it was the second part of the GBRS group. We go into a lot more details than we are going to go here right now. It's crazy that the package is dropped at FedEx. It's not scanned. And some 21 days later, some UPS guy goes into FedEx, pick up the package, and bring back to the GBRS group. How crazy is this? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense to me. And
we got puzzled.
It's very, very puzzling. Something's going on there. I don't know what's going on. But initially, the shipping manager, right? That was the gentleman is an African American male, and people right away.
Well, so we had to let him go because of negligence of handling that package. He took it to the wrong carrier.
Yeah.
He never got it scanned, never got a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and it had a firearm and just took no responsibility of that.
Yeah.
And he's overseen, over 100,000 packages leave our office. And so it's not like it was new. It wasn't, a new position for him. He'd been doing it for years, even before he worked for us. But
I'm sorry. Here's what I want to say about that. Some people said that, he's because he's African American, that's why he was let go, or he was called the police on him, all of that stuff. First of all, GBRS Group actually gave that gentleman a leadership position. Well, if that's how, this is just me looking from the outside. I'm not just saying this, you're right in front of me. And in fact, the reason I'm talking to you is because I've looked at some of the facts with you guys, and it just showed me how unfair the process was towards you guys. I'm just looking from an outsider. If GBRS Group was racist, like some people tried to label, let's just say, then why would GBRS Group give that gentleman a leadership position? And in fact, the boss of that gentleman is a female who's also an African-American female, another leadership position, and that African-American female boss ended up terminating that gentleman. So if I'm racist, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go ahead and give people that I'm racist against those leadership positions in my company that I work so hard to make ends meet. Yeah. So I was really baffled on that one. People just completely ignored some of the facts right away. And as you, dude.
I think it's normal. You see that with any
Yeah.
news, that people will jump to conclusions on whatever's shown immediately and not look at the picture wholly.
Yeah. And people always, I remember reading some of the comments. You guys didn't make any statements, and not because you didn't want to. Your counsel is like, hey, you know what? This is a litigation at this point. We shouldn't say anything, which makes perfect sense. If you guys have ever dealt with attorneys, I hope you don't, in a negative light, let's just say. They don't want you to say anything. They're like, hey, let me speak for you whenever appropriate. They just want you to stay quiet so nothing is used against you, which is super hard. Like, you're being accused of something horrible, and you can't say anything about that, and people just kind of wrote their own stories.
I mean, they took our silence as guilty.
That's right.
And, I mean, we filed very quickly once, I say the body camera footage was edited in a way to fit a narrative that, we just jumped to conclusions. We hid the package, all the different stuff, and going through that whole legal process. And now it's good to be able to talk about it, what was found during the trial and case. And for what people don't understand or probably have no experience, this is our first experience. It's sort of like a whole case, legal case, but it's done by the American Arbitration Association. There's a time for discovery, depositions, and then kind of like a court trial in a room where you present all the evidence on both sides. You can call witnesses and present whatever evidence on both sides. There's like cross-questioning, everything from each side. So it's pretty much like a trial, but it's not in a courtroom.
Yeah, arbitration is a process. I've been there before, and it is just like it. Yeah, you kind of battle it out, duke it out, and see what happens at the end. And I actually, when I was at your office, we watched the deposition part of it where this gentleman was being interviewed. And he clearly said, like, the arbitrator asks him openly, do you think these guys did this to you because you're an African-American gentleman? Like, are they being racially biased towards you? And he himself says it very clearly on camera. No, he didn't get that vibe. Nothing at all. But yet, on the internet, that's what was said. One person said it, and everybody else just followed that train, which shows society. Dude, this happens everywhere. People are so suggestible. Like, you just say one thing, oh, this person, so-and-so is an asshole. Oh, like, you've never met that person, but now you just think that person's an asshole. People are just being sheep. I always say, ask questions. Try to verify certain information that are being told to you, which in this era of disinformation, right? Yeah. Everybody just have their own little perspective on things. Just verify the information. Don't just believe everything you hear. And in this case, you guys are the first-hand victim of this whole thing. And the arbitrator, in this case, just straight up, this wasn't some settlement. This was just straight up, you guys won this case.
Yep. Yeah, straight up. We're awarded a monetary damage amount, and there are a few other provisions that he awarded as well within there.
Gotcha.
So
this is huge news, man. It just shows, like, you got to be patient. You got to keep your head up and keep doing your thing, and that's exactly what you guys did.
Yeah.
You guys, man, I don't think there are companies, especially like small startups, whatever, could have survived that. Like, you guys really had. I mean, of course, look at you and DJ. What your background is? Everybody knows who you are. You're not just some average dudes out there. So, you guys really hung in there.
We really tried to focus and stay positive and keep the team positive, and not let our message be watered down or missed. It was like, we've talked about a lot of our mistakes while we're in the military and personal mistakes, but really, just trying to keep the team positive, our messaging positive, and keep looking forward. We had to deal with that on the side. It's draining, especially when you're getting like death threats, voicemails, all that kinds of stuff.
Wait,
that's challenging.
Tell me about that. Death threats.
Yeah, I mean, it's that one side of extreme. They take those stories as true, and I'll call them keyboard warriors. I mean, they live in their mom's basement, whatever it is, and I hope they're offended by saying it, because they are. They never say that shit to your face. Never.
They'll never say it, dude.
Never.
They're just exactly a bunch of
but they're
cowards.
just jumping on it, and like people like to see, hate and demise. And I know we're a small, young company, but the bigger you get, the more successful you get. People want to see the failure.
Yeah.
And when they smell blood or think there's blood in the water, they're going to jump on it.
Yeah. If somebody's hating on you, that means you're doing something right. You know,
famous words of Kobe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Haters are good to have. They don't hate the good ones. They hate the great ones.
Yeah. I mean, look at GBRS Group, right? I've got audience all the way from Turkey and Turkish-speaking community around the world. Like, you'd be like, Turkey, like, you guys are Americans and you do your stuff here. Bro, I get so many people message me about you guys and how much they love you guys. That is your influence right there. So you're doing something right, obviously. Look at your company. Look at what you're doing. Every time you walk around, it's like, oh, GBRS Group guys. So people love you. Like, I could speak this. I've got a very, very little experience on this one. The comment section, and you know, I have gotten the most shit I've ever gotten anywhere in my life on the comment section of YouTube, Classic Firearms. I mean, people, the things they've just said about me, like, screw this guy, fire this guy's an idiot, this guy, all of that stuff, right? And these guys know nothing about me. And none of them would just come say that to my face. And I don't mean this in a way like I'd fight you. I'm not saying that at all. Yeah. It's just that they don't have the courage because they have no backbone to stand on. Like, why am I a piece of shit? Or whatever the comment says. Tell me. They're just like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Well, tell me why. What is it? They can't. They just sit there. They try to project how they feel about themselves. And when they see a company like you, because I kind of felt that a little bit in the comment section, which you guys freaking saw the other side of it. They see a company like you, super successful. First of all, a couple of studs. Absolutely, you guys are beasts. I mean, you're still jumping and surfing, all that stuff that I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't have the courage to do. And the stuff that you've done in your past, they just see how well put together you guys are. And on top of that, you have this company and you're making money. You're just influencing a lot of people in a positive way, even other businesses. They're like, man, I hate these guys. I sincerely mean this. I think that is why some people hate you guys. And that was an avenue for them to kind of label something.
I don't think we're the only ones immune to it. There's a number of friends. I say that starting off, newer, and I'd say newer, 10 years and younger.
Yeah.
That they'll get consumed with the comment section. And it can really make you like doubt yourself. But I think it's a great learning lesson of like, hey, like, it's going to happen. You could be, Kobe Bryant. I mean, I can only imagine how many hater comments, things, like, it doesn't matter who you are, like, you're not immune to it. You're not wearing the right shoes. You're not shooting the right bow. Like you could, like I said, you could be the world's best. You're going to get haters. And don't let that make you doubt yourself. And as long as you can look yourself in the mirror and know exactly who you are and what you stand for, like, just stick to it. And that's really what helped us get through this. It was like, could have definitely crumbled under pressure for sure. I've just been consumed with it. Like I said, we learned a lot. And I say for anybody watching this, that's new, really try and consult like your network of people, especially, first times and situations. Like, try and find out as many facts you can with whatever timelines you have. Like, use your resources and reach out to those people, because you're not the first person, you're not the last one to ever go through this. And I think there are good and bad milestones with companies growing and people growing, and not all of those milestones are peaceful and pleasant, but you come out stronger. And it's part of being a pro. Like, you keep evolving. Like, you never sit stagnant. You keep moving and you keep evolving. Like, once you stop learning and growing, it's like you kind of start dying. Yeah. But
I love your mindset on being yourself, right? And I know you weren't always like this. None of us were, okay? We all, what was that? There's this neuroscientist, Chase Hughes, not neuroscientist actually, he's done a lot of neurology stuff, but Chase Hughes, I was watching a podcast of his, and I had known this for years, but the way he explains it is so good. He's like, everybody wears a mask, right? We just all do. There's a reason for that. Degrees obviously change, but I love how you're just being yourself. Like, you're okay with somebody just saying that, I don't like you. Okay. you're okay with just being who you are. Because a lot of times, and I've done this before, I'm not anymore like that. I'm a lot better now. But I used to just try to be a certain way so people would like me, right? Of course, we all want to be liked. But I would actually be like, oh, this is how these guys hang out. I should just be like that so they would just accept me. And now I'm 41. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, dude, this is crumbling me. I'm just going to do whatever I want. No matter what I do, some people are going to not like me. So whatever, right? And I follow you on Instagram, and I look at some of your posts and stuff. Dude, just like idle. I love it because that's how I feel. But I've only felt that way in the last 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
Prior to that, my mask was like this big, and now it's a lot smaller. It's not completely gone. I don't think it ever will. But I love that you're just being you. So that is a very admirable thing. And what would you tell people who are just trying too hard, how to kind of navigate into being themselves, being comfortable, and achieving success that way?
I mean, I think it's easier for some people than others. Some people just have a God-gifted talent that
they don't give a shit.
It's just natural for them to speak their mind. And there's people I'll say like have definitely touched base with me of like, yeah, like I understand you're the quieter one. It's definitely uncomfortable being in front of the cameras talking, with the background and just kind of being introverted. And I'm fine being quiet alone.
Yeah.
But having confidence in yourself, and I think some of that comes with time and experience of doing it. I mean, I remember the first one, it was just like, what if I fuck up what I'm going to say? Or again, comment section like, oh, that's not what you said last time, or just whatever it is. So, being comfortable and trusting yourself, and it takes time and practice. It's another skill. But I think too, like, between us, it's like I may have had some initial walls up, not like aggressive walls, but just like, I mean, I don't really know you. I know you, but like, don't really. So it'll take some time for some of those walls. Those
now
natural
we
walls
sleep
just
together and all that stuff. Like we're in the same bed every day. It's just like, because we're just sharing a room, guys.
There's 2 singles.
There's only one bed. Who you gonna believe, man? It's right there. Just one
me.
bed. True.
You're a dual citizen.
I am. You're right, but I'm an American.
Can't trust you.
I don't trust me, dude. Damn. But yeah, so you well, it does take time. It for me, like you said, you don't know me, and there's got to be walls up, and you got to kind of spend some time to kind of bring the walls down. That is for everybody, but the way I think about this is no matter what I do, it's just not going to be good or right for some people. It's just not going to be, no matter what I do.
Yeah, it takes time of like being comfortable. Like, you're never going to make everybody happy. Like, not everyone's going to be your friend. Like, okay.
So
do your
thing.
You want to, but do your thing.
That's what I realized in the last couple of years. No matter what I do, some people are just going to not like it. It's just not going to work out. I just have to keep doing what I want to do, because when I do what I want to do, I'll just be more genuine. I think I probably have more people like me, whatever I want to do genuinely, than I try to be something else. Yeah. So going back to the arbitration issue, that is completely done with right now, right?
Yep.
Everything is done. And how many employees do you have right now?
We have just over 30 W-2s, another 10 1099s.
Okay. How do the employees actually receive this? I'm sure this was a company-wide news. Mm-hmm. How did they receive this?
It was probably a mixture of excitement, relieved, and being able to take like the weight of the world off of all their shoulders. I mean, they were not immune to the harassment of those things, and they were just relieved that the truth came out and arbitration was done.
Yeah,
I mean, it was taxing. I mean, we lost some employees because it was like it just, they couldn't. I don't want to say they couldn't take it, but it was just like it was too much of how quickly all that came on.
Yeah, did some people drink the Kool-Aid too, and the employees, or no?
No,
okay.
No, they didn't. Like, again, it being our first experience, it was like, do we say a statement? Do we not? Like, our lawyers are saying we can't. Meanwhile, all this, again, just pure hate coming in on it. It's like, it's hard to see all the hate coming in on something that you bet your life on and you're so passionate about, like with GBRS and what we do and stand for. So it was consistent emotional roller coaster with it.
Dude, and I don't blame him. That is tough, because I know you said you guys lost millions of dollars just as a result of this, which is crazy. I honestly, to this day, don't agree with the attorneys on not making a statement. I feel like, and this is just me personally, I feel like there was a way to make a very neutral statement that still addressed something without really jeopardizing the case. That's my personal opinion. I think, but hey, that's hindsight's 20/20, right?
Yeah, well, I'll say, like, looking back on it now, going through the whole arbitration process, any of those things, and I think there's a difference of, like, it's handled quietly, professionally, like, by just the arbitration process. It's another one if it starts getting public, and how to handle that as well as arbitration and kind of what parameters you can and can't do things. God forbid we ever had to get into another arbitration trial case again. Now I say we're armed with experienced people in PR, crisis PR, like never knew what it was needed for or like what it really did until it was like, holy shit, like what's this crisis PR thing? 'Cause what do we do? Say, like, getting lawyers to talk, like what can we say? Absolutely. Like I say we fully missed the ball. Like, yeah, like we should have put out a statement. But again, it kind of be
hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, for our first time, and like, what do you say? What do you not say? What can we say? But 100%, like, definitely getting with the right people to put a statement out there would have put a lot of it at bay for sure.
I think so too. Yeah. In fact, that's a great opportunity right now, because you've, as a small business, you've gone through some tough times, and there's a lot of small businesses out there in this industry or not. They look up to you, and as you know, you're not the last one, man. This is going to continue happening. What would you say to those guys, like anybody who's having some crisis moment, boom, it just happened? Because, you could wake up in the morning, your world is upside down, completely different. What would you say to them how to handle a crisis situation, whether that's a product failure or smear campaign, whatever it may be? How should it be handled?
I mean, you got to get the team together and all the, I say outside knowledge, depending on if you had outside PR, inside, just however your company's organized, or like you got to have a mentor that you're able to bounce ideas off of, especially as a company owner or entrepreneur, that was like a sanity check, and be able to utilize those networks of, hey, like crisis on gear. It's one thing if it's crisis on gear of like, hey, it's failing and you're able to fix it and it doesn't get out in the public. It's another if something's failing and it does get out in the public and you're losing ultimately like customer trust, depending on what it is and how catastrophic it is. And the drama of companies too, you got to pull the team together quickly. And, one other dynamic that nobody really knows, when all that stuff was initially coming out, I mean, DJ and I were passing each other in airplanes. Like, he was gone a week, I was gone a week. He like with work, travel. It's my 40th birthday too, so I got to celebrate it that way.
When is that? What date?
February 20th. Yeah, but even if you're remote, figuring out how do we sync up with all the teams so everyone's on the same page? Because I mean, there's definitely a timeline on it with social media and how viral things can go. Whether it's not true or is, people will jump on the bandwagon, and the quicker you can have that together, the better. But it's like, who knows what tomorrow will bring, and it's always putting out some sort of fire for sure in any business, no matter how smooth it is, no matter how small or big it is. There's always little fires to put out. But being prepared with your network, like, hey, I would encourage any new entrepreneur, no matter how big your company is, if you don't have a good PR person or a crisis PR person, find one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So at least you're like, hey, like, we're not making a statement. Okay, here's how we're going to make a statement. Here's how it's going to be put out. Who's going to put it out? And, we went through, I mean, probably 10 revisions of a statement that never went out.
Right.
Like, and it was kind of a mixture of us being traveling and gone to find where we could sit down. It was like, by the time we could sit down, it was like, we're 2 months into this thing.
Dude, that's very good advice. Like, honestly, I've got my aspirations super. You never think about that. You're like, hey, let me make a product. or whatever products, and I'm going to go and sell it to people and this and that, somebody could just come out and just jeopardize or smear campaigns or something bad could happen. Like, do I have a plan for that? Like when you do ops in the teams, you have your contingency plans, right? Why wouldn't companies have that too? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great reference. And when I say like find a good PR person, I'm not saying go hire one. Just find the one you like and want, because there's multiple different ones. Same with legal, whether it's general, patent IP, litigation, because there are all kinds of different strategies in those, especially depending on what area you're from. Like even, an employment lawyer, if they can double, so at least the rules and who you can call and retain really quick, just to be like, hey, I have this issue, that issue, whatever it is. You have that network on a quick dial. It's like, be able to do it.
Yeah.
The contingencies of all of it. Like even with, I say product drops, releases, it's like, if this goes wrong, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
Like, but same with ops. Yeah.
You're right. Everybody focuses on, I just thought about it right on the spot. Everybody always focuses on, I'm going to, PR it. I'm going to do this, that, and that. But what's the contingency? Like you got to have certain plans, have people on speed dial, boom, make things happen, because things spread extremely fast. Like there was this company that I kind of helped advise about a couple of things. I don't want to name drop, good people. They didn't plan on any contingency stuff. And I said, hey, don't do that. That wouldn't be good. If something drops on YouTube, it'll catch like wildfire. You can't stop it. It'll hurt you. And make sure you change these, whatever it was, right? And the guy did it anyways. One video. Somebody picked it up, and whatever we said in the team happened. Hundreds of thousands of views. My phone was blowing up from that guy. What do I do? I'm like, you're on your own. You're on your own, man. There's nothing I can do for you. No. Like, just like that. So that is, and he 100% does not have any PR team or like a crisis PR team.
Yeah.
So, Cole, how did you and DJ obviously walk around shows like this everywhere, right? Did you get affected personally, like in person, that people ever walk up to you, say anything like about this?
No, I mean, we've never had anybody come up to us and
wait, they didn't come up to you
or be negative about it. No, they don't. Like, it's just all of our interactions. It's pretty humbling to hear, because there's so many different backgrounds, whether it's law enforcement, whatever their background is, and it's so positive of like, thank you guys for being so open. Thank you guys for helping me. Whatever the message, or I've had at least 3 people last 2 days be like, I was 300 pounds and I'm now down to like 200. Like I just lost 80 pounds or things like that. So that's really humbling and special to hear. And the videos of training, or just how we put out the content and the products, like it's all been really positive.
That's crazy, guys. Yeah. So you caught the biggest shit or shitstorm on the internet, and you are very visible out there. Shows like this, 50, 60,000 people walking around, NRA show, all those places that you guys go to, and not a single person comes up to you and say, hey, man, you're this way. Nothing. Not one. That doesn't make sense. Those guys are all tough guys, or they should be doing that. All
of our partnerships, too, they like stood behind us. Like
that's good.
Like without even talking to us. Like we addressed it with them. I mean, that's another thing, too. Like any strategic partnerships, whatever you have, addressing it with them so they're aware of it. But they stood behind us. They kind of saw the initial social media stuff. For like, we already did that hurdle. Yeah. We've already been there, done that kind of hurdle, whatever it is. And so we're like, yeah, we've seen that book before.
That is so
behind us. So we're lucky.
So good to hear. And speaking of partnership, GBRS is partnering up with somebody new. Who's that?
So we got a partnership with Under Armour coming out in the works.
Hell yeah.
Pretty excited about it. Not fully sure when it'll roll out. I think maybe at the end of this year. And, really excited with them. I think they're one of the unique brands. And I say, like, between Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, all great brands. But, Under Armour undeniably is, the most patriotic, two-way, military-friendly, open. They are unapologetically supportive of all the military, first responders, and it's such a great opportunity to be able to be involved with that, and hopefully help collaborate and do things that help first responders, veterans, and support all those, and make their products better if we get the chance. So I'm excited about that.
I think it's a great opportunity for Under Armour to work with you guys, and vice versa. Absolutely a very mutually beneficial partnership. I love Under Armour, so shout out to Colt Feder over there. He handles the PR stuff. Good buddy. In fact, this is my Under Armour 4.0.
Nice.
I have many shoes, boots from Under Armour. When I was on duty, I wore at least 4 or 5 different boots from Under Armour. Went through boot camp with my Under Armour Valstats, like those old school ones. Love their products. I think that's a great partnership. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Do you have anything in mind? Anything could be like.
We'll see. I mean, we've been wearing it since 2004. Remember those old Blackwater? I mean, you still wear them, like the skin tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like so. Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong?
No, like the Blackwater skin tight Under Armour shirts. I know we usually wear those, but yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't wear those, but we
Guilty
wore
as
like just
charged.
kind of loose fitting shirts. We modified.
You got to put on some muscle for it
I
to fit
know.
the way it fits on me.
We modified some of the first brown Under Armour shirts. We'd cut off the sleeves and we'd cut
My
our
favorite.
camouflage like blouses, and then we put those sleeves on it, and then we get the pouch or the pocket sewn on there.
Yeah.
And I was like 04, 05. You go to the little seamstress person and
Just
like
make it
bag that.
happen.
Yeah. Like we're making those op tops like that. We'll have to dig up some old photos.
I would love to see it. Are you guys? Obviously, it's gonna be mostly clothing, right? Stuff that you guys will do.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see where it leads. But
Where-
yeah, start off with some clothing and key items.
Speaking of clothing, you guys got your own clothing stuff too.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I mean, we have our core line. For 2025, it's the instructor anniversary line. T-shirts, tanks, sweatshirts, hats. We've always had an instructor line, kind of that core line of soft goods that just stays throughout the year. Made the anniversary edition just because we hit 5 years in September last year. And then we have about 8 limited drops. The next one coming up February 14th. It is Burn the Ships.
Okay.
And all of our drops have a real meaning behind them. And, Burn the Ships, there's a few stories in history about different, I say generals, commanders, whatever, burning the ships when they hit certain land. It's like there's no retreat, no turn back. We are moving ahead. So, and I think that's applicable, and we all think it's applicable in life. It's like, don't look back, only look forward.
Yeah.
Like all in, 100% committed.
I love it, dude. I've got your shirt, GBRS group, and I was in Istanbul just in December, walking around, and dude, people know you guys. I'm in Istanbul, Turkey, right? And people are like, "Oh, GBRS group, I love those guys." I'm not, DJ and Cole. They always say DJ and Cole, DJ and Cole.
Yeah.
Freaking Istanbul. It's like, I don't know, 4,000 miles away, and people know you guys. You guys are doing great, man.
That's awesome. It's cool.
I'm super happy to
Yeah.
have met you guys, made friends with you guys. I'm super happy that you guys actually finally are out of that freaking tunnel
Thank
and
you.
won your arbitration. I mean, being out is one thing, like with different results, but you guys actually won your case. Arbitrators, like, based on every evidence, you guys did not do this. This is not true, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And you guys are even awarded damages. So, super happy to hear that. Thanks for sitting down with me, man.
Oh, thank you.
And sharing the
Appreciate
story.
it. Good catching up.
Absolutely. We'll have to do some more stuff later on, but I really do want to come back out there and
Got
do
to.
some more top 5s or whatever.
Yeah, got some more guns, got some new stuff.
Gotcha. Cool. Guys, check out GBRS Group. Cool. Obviously, you got your own Instagram. Tell us, how do people find you?
GBRSGroupGear.com. Instagram is The Real Fatty. We'll cover why my nickname was Fatty next episode.
I want to know that. Yeah, but I will.
We'll save it for next time. But yeah, The Real Fatty, DJ Shipley, GBRS Group on Instagram, all that stuff.
Gotcha. You weren't fat when you were younger, right?
Nope.
No way. Okay.
No.
We'll have to find that out later.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Check out GBRS Group, and cool. Thanks all for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Man.